Everyone, my name is Swastik. I am a software research engineer in IBM Research India Lab. I am here to present our paper titled Reliable Counterfactual Explanations for Autoencoder Based Anomalies. The co-authors of this paper are Philips Georgian and Dityakulan Shah. Firstly, what are anomalies? Anomalies are considered to be points which differ significantly from all other points in the dataset and do not conform to the behavior expected from the dataset. Anomaly detection has widespread real-world significance. They find applications in areas like network intrusion detection, credit card fraud detection, medical diagnostics, video surveillance, and many more. Some of the current anomaly detection methods are based on clustering-based algorithms, mixture models-based algorithms, etc. But a recent line of work capitalizes on the efficacies of neural network and uses autoencoders for anomaly detection problem. As most of you may know, autoencoders are neural network models which tries to reconstruct the data which has been passed into the model itself. An undercomplete autoencoder structure has less neurons in the intermediate layers compared to the input dimension, and thus forces the autoencoder to learn a latent representation of the data points. For anomaly detection using autoencoders, we train the autoencoder on non-anomalous data, and then given any data point, we say the point is anomalous if the reconstruction error of that point is above some pre-decided threshold. Throughout the paper, we maintain the threshold to be epsilon. The intuition behind this is that the autoencoder would be good at reconstruction of the points which it has already seen while training, but it would be bad at reconstruction of any not anomalous data point. As the world has increasingly adopted machine learning to real life systems, there is also an increasing demand from model developers and experts to understand and explain the inner working of those systems. But due to the complicated nature of most of the recent models, it is not always possible to understand the inner workings of the system. This has given rise to a line of work which aims to explain the decisions of the machine learning models. This explanation is vital to model developers and experts to debug the model as well as to validate the fairness of the model. The current explanations for anomaly detection methods are based on feature importance. Feature importance based explanation methods like LIME and SHAP assign weightage to each feature, which is representative of the contribution that feature has on the model's prediction score. An example of feature importance based explanation is presented here with the help of a prescription fraud detection model. We see here an explanation of a sample which has been marked as fraudulent by the model. The explanation says the days between refill feature has the most significance for the prediction of the model. But it would be helpful for both model developers and experts alike if the explanation also included a recommendation or a modified point which is very similar to the fraudulent data point but is flagged as non-fraudulent by the model. This is where counterfactual explanations come into the picture. Counterfactual explanations answers the question what minimal change needs to be introduced to a sample to change the prediction of the model. So a counterfactual explanation for the previous scenario might be prescription would not have been marked as fraudulent if feature prescribed units was higher by 3.0 units. Coming to our work, we propose counterfactual explanations for autoencoder based anomaly detection methods. This is the first work exploring counterfactuals for anomaly detection. Some desired properties that can be demanded from counterfactuals are proximity, sparsity, and diversity. Proximity meaning the generated counterfactuals should be as close to the original data point as possible. Sparsity means counterfactuals should change as few features as the original point as possible to get the defined prediction. Diversity is another desired property introduced in previous literature, which argues that since there are multiple ways to get the desired prediction from the model, users should be presented with a diverse set of counterfactuals to choose from. We propose an optimization problem which will generate the counterfactuals enforcing the discussed properties. Here, the reconstruction error constraint is responsible for making the counterfactual non-anomalous, and the objective function of this problem is responsible for decreasing the proximity. We then give a loss function corresponding to the optimization problem, which is more suitable for backpropagation based optimizers like Adam. The terms in loss function is responsible for enforcing the properties discussed previously. The first term, autoencoder loss, this loss is a proxy loss of the reconstruction error of the autoencoder. It's a hinge loss function over the reconstruction error. The proximity loss is the distance function between the counterfactuals and anomalous point. The distance function used is median absolute deviation distance, introduced previously by Wachter et al. In 2017. We have two options for diversity loss. First one, the DPP or determinantal point process based loss, is discussed in Motilal et al. The second one is the max mean pairwise distance loss, which minimizes the maximum of the negative pairwise distance between the generated counterfactuals. We stop the optimization procedure when the autoencoder loss is 0, which signifies a valid counterfactual has been found. This is an example of an anomalous data point taken from the PIMA outlier detection dataset and its corresponding generated counterfactual. The columns are the features and the bold numbers are the features that differs between the counterfactual and the anomaly. Additionally, we introduce a notion called reliability of counterfactuals in the paper. The idea behind this is to validate the quality of generated counterfactuals by checking the neighborhood of the generated counterfactual. We do this by an optimization procedure which seeks to find a point close to the counterfactual but is anomalous. If we successfully find such a point, we say the generated counterfactual is not reliable, otherwise it is termed as reliable. This diagram shows our reliability condition. The red region is the decision region of the model corresponding to anomalous region, and the blue regions correspond to the model's non-anomalous decision region. By our definition, counterfactual x2 is considered unreliable, whereas counterfactual x1 is considered reliable. This is the optimization problem for our reliability checking process. We look for a point xi cap by maximizing the reconstruction error and constraining that point to be farther away from the anomalous point than the counterfactual is from the anomalous point. We also constrain that point to be close to the counterfactual. Similarly to our counterfactual generation loss, we have a reliability loss corresponding to the discussed optimization problem. Here, each of the constraints have been pushed into the loss function in the form of hinge losses. This hinge loss terms would be minimum only when the constraints are satisfied. Since this is the first work in counterfactual anomaly explanations, we do not have a baseline to compare our model with, but we report 4 evaluation metrics for the generated counterfactuals. They are namely diameter, diversity, reliability, and validity. Diameter of the points is twice the distance between the anomalous point, and the counterfactual. If this diameter is low, it implies that all counterfactuals are close to the anomalous point, and if this diameter is high, it implies that at least one of the counterfactuals generated were far from the anomalous point. The diversity metric is the minimum of the pairwise distance between the counterfactuals. Higher score signifies the counterfactuals are more spread out and hence more diverse. It is to be noted that in a way, diversity is antithetical to the diameter metric. Reliability is simply the ratio of counterfactuals which were not found to be unreliable among the generated counterfactuals. Validity is the ratio of counterfactuals for which the counterfactual generation optimization has converged. Here are the results corresponding to our PyTorch implementation. The results were obtained by varying the hyperparameters lambda1 and lambda2 from 0.1 to 1.0 and k from 1.1 to 3. The results for validity we present here are the worst and best validity ratio for each combination of lambda1 and lambda2. We present that result for k equals 1, 2 and 3. In case of diameter and diversity, we take the average for all combinations of lambda1 and lambda2, and we report this result for k equals 1, 2 and 3. Here are the results corresponding to our PyTorch implementation. This is the result of our reliability metric. We can see for none of the datasets we achieved reliability of 100%, which signifies that our definition of reliability is non-trivial. This is a plot of validity versus the hyperparameters lambda1 and lambda2. The plot shows a decreasing trend for increase of the hyperparameters. If you see, the loss function validity is dependent on the first term of the loss function. So the plot is aligned to our intuition, since a decreasing lambda1 and lambda2 will mean increased importance to the reconstruction error, and the reconstruction error is essentially the term responsible for the convergence, and thus decreasing lambda1 and lambda2 will mean increasing in convergence. In conclusion, our contribution is to extend the counterfactual explanations to autoencoder based anomaly detection models and to introduce the notion of reliability of counterfactuals. We also provide an algorithm to test that reliability. Thank you.